Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be having a short update on our winter storm that's currently going on to parts of the Midwest, back down to parts of Texarkana region. That same system is going to move into parts of the Ohio Valley later tonight, and eventually tomorrow we're going to see quite a bit of icing and snow for parts of the Northeast as well. We'll also talk a little bit about after the system here as well, see how things are looking like after the system as well. Before we get started on this video, if you guys would like weather related content, you can subscribe to my channel. We do this stuff here all the time in this chat here. Plus, we'll have more related content like this in the future as well. So definitely stay tuned for more weather updates as well. So let's go ahead and get started by using the HER model. Yesterday, boy, the models had already had a rough start. They were too warm with temperatures here. Surprisingly, the highest Canadian was the worst one out of the rest. Even the NAM was. That's what, if you see my Twitter, my tweet yesterday on Twitter, I mentioned that the bottles were way too warm with temperature. So that led to the freezing rain line on the first wave to be much further south. Now, with the latest HER bottle, it has adjusted to the current temperature, so we'll use the HER bottle on the system here for today. So, currently, we still have a lot of freezing rain and sleet going on for parts of Missouri and Illinois. Ice storm conditions do continue in Arkansas. We've seen a lot of ice there so far over the last day or two, and they even had a mix of thunder, sleet, and thunder, freezing rain. That's something you don't hear very often. It's been going on for 2 days. That's pretty wild out there as well. We even have a mixes of thunder snow as well. That's due to the fact that we have more convective snow showers, sleet, and freeze rain. A lot of these showers and stuff like that is more convective. And with that crazy temperature inversion as well. And then on top of that, you get stuff like this to happen as well. Plus, thunder will be much louder than normal because the temperature inversion is going to be very low to the ground as well. So them sound waves are going to be able to travel much farther as well. You'll be able to see them on forecast soundings as well. So yeah, we still got that type of action going on, which is pretty insane in my opinion here. Meanwhile, we still got that flash flood risk across parts of Kentucky, Tennessee. They'll move up into parts of West Virginia and maybe in the parts of Ohio with this as well. It's generally going to be a 1 to 3 inches before the system gets done. It's going to be a weaker system at first, but it will be gaining strength as it continues to move to the northeast. Look at all this freezing rain and sleet going on across parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey. That's going to spread into parts of southern New York, Connecticut, even to parts of Rhode Island and Massachusetts as well. It's going to experience some of that mixed precipitation action. And then just to the north of that, you got a lot of snow going on out here. Multiple rounds of light to moderate snow. Could be heavy at times as well. So that's going to be a full-blown winter storm for parts of the Northeast. It's going to be a widespread event as well. And eventually by Friday night, that system should be out of here as well. Let's talk about freezing rain accumulations first in the parts of the Ohio Valley before we get to the Northeast. And you can see here, there's still more freezing rain to go. Now keep in mind, in the heaviest areas, they're going to be overdone. It's accumulating that heavy freezing rain, which keep in mind, heavy freeze rain doesn't accumulate as well as light to moderate freezing rain. So keep in mind of that as well. Luckily, we've been seeing a decent amount of heavy freezing rain out there as well over the last couple days. So it's not able to accumulate very well. So for some areas that's saying at least a quarter of an inch of ice, probably take that down maybe about a tenth of an inch or so. That's probably how much more ice you could possibly see here. So some areas, it's just going to be a general tenth of an inch to 2/10 of an inch for some areas out there as well. So there's still a little bit more ice to go. Plus there is going to be mixed in with some sleet out there as well. You can see here, it does lighten up a little bit when you get into Indiana, but picks back up again when you get into parts of Ohio. And then again, some of these stalls are going to be a little bit overdone. I think it's just going to be a general tenth of an inch to 2/10 of an inch of ice as well. Not necessarily getting to ice storm territory up there as well. And you do notice when you get up to Pennsylvania, the ice accumulation totals do increase as well. And here's snowfall here. We're not expecting a whole lot more snow out of the system here as well. So general 1 to 3 inches. You do notice it is pretty widespread as well. It includes northeast parts of eastern Missouri, the northern half of Illinois, the northern half of Indiana, northern Ohio, good chunk of Iowa, and also Michigan as well. And it does move up into parts of the northeast as well, closer to where we are going to experience some of that freezing rain and that sleet mix is probably going to experience some of the highest snowfall amounts out of this. And I think we could see some areas getting over 3 inches as well, especially when you get up to northern Ohio where they're going to experience snowfall for a longer duration as well. You do notice when you get up in the northeast, those snowfall amounts pick up very quickly when you get up to the northeast as well. So let's talk about the Northeast here and for ice accumulations. And then again, some of these amounts are going to be overdone here. It's got the highest amounts being in Pennsylvania. And it's got some amounts up to half an inch of ice. Now keep in mind, these amounts are going to be overdone. It's accumulating some of that heavy freezing rain that's going to be involved. Your best case scenario is that you stay in that heavy freeze rain territory. If you're going to be light to moderate freeze rain, it's not necessarily a good thing. We could see ice accumulations over a quarter of an inch as well. But I think for most areas, it's generally going to be probably up to a quarter of an inch for these amount of areas as well. But for widespread, it's just going to be a tenth of an inch to two tenths of an inch of ice as well. It does line up when you get into parts of the New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, but honestly, I think we could see some higher freezing rain amounts out there as well. I think it's having trouble with the precipitation type map as well, because some of that in reality might be a little bit more in freezing rain than sleet as well. But hopefully that's correct though. You'll get more sleet than freezing rain. Hopefully that'd be the case. That'd be your best case scenario. Is I know everyone wants snow, but honestly, sleet's not that bad um, at all. And here, snowfall accumulations for the HER. You can see here, them totals are pretty high, and it's also widespread as well. I think generally it's going to be 8 to 10 inches of snow for most areas, but honestly, I think we could see some areas getting up to a foot of snow. Maybe some isolated higher amounts as well, mainly in the higher elevations in northern Massachusetts, southern areas of Vermont, New Hampshire, even back into parts of New York. I think those are the better opportunity where we could see. Let me actually put that in a circle here of what areas I'm talking about here. I think these areas in here probably had the better opportunity to see at least a foot of snow. But everywhere else, I think it's just going to be a general 8 to 10 inches of snow. And that's still a lot of snow when you think about it. And you can also tell here, you got high. I mean, the HERBAL suggests that most of the state of New York could see at least 6 inches of snow. That's pretty nuts. That's going to be a lot of snow for a lot of areas as well. But honestly, for the way the models have been over the last um, couple systems, is that it kind of misses some of those dry pockets as well. So some of these amounts probably will be a little bit overdone as well. And I also don't think it's going to be as widespread as this as well. But either way, there's still going to be a lot of snow out of the system here as well. Something I forgot to pull up as a tab is the National Weather Service forecast here when it comes to freezing rain accumulation and ice. So this is for the next 24 hours here when it comes to ice accumulation. So you can see here, general tenth of an inch to 2/10 of an inch for most folks as well for parts of the Ohio Valley. And when you get into the Northeast, then again, this is for the next 24 hours, so for the next day or so. They also have sub areas getting over a quarter of an inch of ice as well. That's going to be ice or territory as well. But like I was saying earlier, most folks it's just going to be a general tenth of an inch to 2/10 of an inch. And there will be some areas that could get up around a quarter of an inch of ice as well. Now, this is the snowfall forecast over the next 48 hours, so for the next 2 days. You can see here, like I was saying here, it's probably not going to be as widespread with some of those highest amounts, but there are going to be some isolated areas that could see at least a foot of snow as well. Those are those little reddish shades out there as well. So yeah, either way, there's going to be a lot of snow out there if it's going to be a higher end or if it's going to be on the lower end. So yeah, definitely going to be a lot of snow coming out of the system here as well. So what about after the system? Well, good news is it's certainly going to stay mostly quiet. Maybe not so much for parts of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and the parts of Northeast. You'll probably have periods of some light snows, and these are going to be minor events as well. You'll be able to see it pretty well from the GFS. And likely, as we've been talking about over the last couple of days here, mentioned that possibility for a decent storm system sometime around Sunday and Monday. Doesn't look like it's really going to happen here. Um, these two pieces of energy are going to be too far apart as well, and they're going to miss that phase opportunity here. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to see a big storm system, but from that northern piece of energy, it will bring a decent amount of snow for parts of the northeast as well, uh, bringing in widespread light to moderate snow showers out there as well. And then again, they're going to miss that phase opportunity. You can see here with the GFS for most of next week, you'll see these couple clipper systems that roll through over some of the same areas for parts of the Northern Plains, Midwest, and the parts of the Northeast. You also do notice at the same time, look at this in the Northwest, where you're starting to see that stormy pattern return in the Northwest as well. Unfortunately for areas a little bit further south, though, where we really need some rain, unfortunately, it's going to stay dry. At least some of you guys did get to see some snow and rain a couple days ago as well. I've definitely heard some stories out there as well that some of you guys did get a decent amount of rain and snow, which is a good thing. But you guys still gonna need more than that, unfortunately. But hey, at least it's better than nothing, right? But anyways, here I think getting later to the month here, we're actually in early March at this point here. We start to see a little bit more active pattern now. This is going to change here. We're getting pretty far out. This is likely going to change here. We may look into the Canadian model here in a little bit, but that eastern ridge does begin to return as well, so it does lead to a milder push of air across parts of the central and eastern U.S. And we'll have to watch for big storm systems like this that could be in the near future as well. Placement is still unknown, and how strong the system is going to be. Then again, it's at least 10 days out. It's likely going to change. If we do check out the Canadian model in the 7 to 10 day range, you can see it's a little bit of a different story, but you kind of get that same general pattern here where we start to get storm systems that roll through the northwest. They come out of Rockies, and they may have a potential to become a pretty good storm system when they leave the Rockies. So that's a certain type of pattern we're going to need to watch here over the next couple of days here as well. Let's check out the Cloud Prediction forecast here for early March. So this is the 6 to 10 day outlook from March 2nd to the 6th. You can see here it's generally looking to be milder. Best probability is looking to be across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, parts of Missouri, even the parts of eastern New Mexico as well. They also do note that cooler than normal temperatures do return to parts of the Northwest. That's what we could see that P&A begin to flip as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that stuff here sometime next week. But anyway, here you can see here this is becoming a little more favorable pattern for severe weather. This is not a bad setup for severe weather for the plains as well for something like that. And here's precipitation. You do notice here they do give a low end probability for above normal precipitation for most of the plains as well. And you also do notice here pretty good probabilities across parts of the north as well. It looks like things do begin to stay on the drier side across the southeast and even for the desert southwest as well. And these forecasts can change over time as well. Keep in mind that. And this is 8 to 14 days, so this is from the 4th to the 10th of March. And you can see this is a little bit more favorable pattern for active weather. You got troughing in the west, mostly ridging in the east. And that can lead to some more severe weather setups in this time period. At least could be anyway. You can see here how active it could get. Maybe a little bit drier along the west coast, down to parts of the desert southwest. But generally, for a good chunk of the U.S., could be a little bit on the wetter side as well, with some of the greatest probabilities we're going to be parts of the Midwest as well. And then again, that could change over time as well. We'll talk a little bit more about the long range stuff here next week. I do plan on at some point next week releasing my March forecast and my spring forecast as well. So definitely stay tuned for those forecasts to come out in the near future as well. But anyways, guys, that's all we got today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, like this video, hit the like button if you like my channel. hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, put in the comment section down below. I heard you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye and have a good day.